Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Refle's anime reviews and discussions. I am Refle, and last time I believe it was I reviewed Shimonetta, A World Where Dirty Jokes Don't Exist, or whatever it's called. Um, but this time, I'm going to be talking about another show from summer 2015, and I think this will be the last show I review from summer 2015. Because I don't like. I know I've watched a few other shows, but I don't feel like reviewing them. I guess, not because they were bad or anything like that. I just didn't feel like reviewing them. But this time I'm gonna be reviewing. Actually, I am, which I it was part of my top 5 summer anime shows through halfway point, and it's safe to say that it stuck in that top 5. So, kind of like a little plot summary. The show is a comedy romance show with a little harem aspect to it. But I would say the harem aspect is not as bad as you would see in other shows. As far as like it getting kind of risque, as you could say. I'm doing a lot of things with my hands this video so far, and I don't know why. I usually don't do that. But the show centers around Asahi Kuruman, who's a high school student, and he can never keep a secret. That's kind of he's called the leaky basket, because he can't keep a secret, and it always seems to come out, people's secrets. But he has a crush on a student named Yoko Shiragami, and one day he decides to go and confess to her after school, and so he goes and does that. But when he walks in on her, he learns that she is a vampire. And they talk, and he decides to keep her secret so that she can stay at school, because if her secret gets out, she can't go to school. So that's where kind of the story centers around, is these two characters' relationships, and honestly trying to keep her secret, and Yoko, I'm just gonna call her Shiragami, because that's what I like to say. Shiragami is like a bit of an airhead, I guess you could say, but not like a major. She's a bit of an airhead. So she'll occasionally kind of like do stuff that would let people know that she's a vampire, and he has to try to make sure nobody notices. And throughout the show, they become more and more friendly, and yeah, it's just kind of what you typically would expect from a show like this. And then throughout the season, more and more characters get involved with the harem aspect, and Nagisa Aizawa, Aizawa, or I think it's her name's Class something. She has like a nickname. It doesn't say here. Aizawa is another student who actually Asahi confessed that he liked her the previous year, and she completely just turned him down. But things have changed apparently, and Aizawa also begins throughout to kind of like Asahi more and more. But she also has a secret. She is an alien in a robot suit. So she's like a little alien from. Just imagine like was that alien from Men in Black or whatever, but not like creepy looking and like ugly, but like a Japanese anime girl. It's basically like that. So yeah, so Asahi has to try to keep her secret, which it's not as big of a deal as Shirogami's, but he tries to do that as well. And she's the more Aizawa's all about rules and following them, and she's trying to learn about the culture and everything. And she's kind of a wacky character also. And then there's also Mikan Akemi, who is in charge of the school newspaper. She's a bit of a jerk, in that she likes to just mess with people to get stories and get news stories so she can just put it on paper. And she's a weird character. Like I don't honestly like her much. But yeah, she's a character. I guess I'm going really deep in these characters compared to my other videos, which is unusual. And there's also, I'll just say this: there's a person who's a devil. I think it's either a demon or a devil. Who's a school principal, and then the teacher's the granddaughter or something of that. And there's also Shiho Shishido, who is half wolf man, half wolf woman, who's a massive, like, when she's like the super like sexualized character in the show, and and she's like the biggest pervert of all of them. It's kind of funny. I like her a lot. She's funny, but those are kind of the main characters. And then Asahi also has a whole bunch of his own friends, but basically just kind of these adventures, and Asahi's interaction with these characters is just really funny. The show, now, I didn't really like the show. Like the first few episodes, like I guess first 2 episodes, I didn't really like get the show. Like I just never really connected with me. But I'm like, it was good enough that I was gonna keep watching it. Because at that point, I hadn't watched any like shows that I didn't have any really like comedy focused shows that I was watching at the time. So I wanted something to kind of switch the mood between serious stuff like Charlotte and Gangsta and Rocka. All those shows, they do have some light-hearted parts, but they're mostly serious. So that's why I kind of stuck with the show. And the art style also kind of was a turnoff, but you do get used to it. And at the end, I kind of did like the art style. Because it's just a different art style than what you're used to. But I think you eventually do get used to it, and I think it works for a show. But like a show, there's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of good moments and stuff throughout it, but I just don't like. There's parts where I also don't feel like it's as good as other stuff you could watch. There's parts where I thought it could have been much better. Because there's some episodes that just didn't feel like nothing really happened. And like I guess I could say like the episodes were very hit and miss. There's episodes where like they have a sexy contest. That's one of the name of the episodes. And it's not, what do you think? It isn't nearly as bad as you would think from a title like that. It's actually really funny. And that episode is very notable And there's episodes like, yeah, there's episodes where I just completely forget about it or forget what happened, and like I think the character, like I said, I think the characters are all really well done, and like it's hard to describe in the show because it's very typical of all, like it doesn't do much to really separate it from other kind of comedy, romantic comedy harem kind of shows, but it is separate. It is separated from the rest of them because of the characters, because they're all like, because there's vampires, aliens, werewolves, demons, and stuff. And there's no other show that I've personally watched that is like that, and that still kind of makes the characters, likable and not weird, even though they're kind of weird. Like, I don't know. There's the show does stuff that's just very typical of what you expect from this kind of show, but it also just has characters that are typical in a lot of ways, but aren't typical of what you normally see. Like, I don't know how to, don't know how to describe it better than that. I did like the show quite a bit. Like, it's very entertaining, and there's a lot of debates too about who Asahi should kind of go with. And like, I honestly, like, I pretty much like all the characters besides Mikan. Don't really care for her. But there's really only two options at this point, and it's either Aizawa or Shiragami as like the kind of two main people who you think have a shot with Kuramine, Asahi Kuramine. And I think I kind of switch both sides between Shiragami and Aizawa. But that's another story. But it is just season 1. I think there will be another season, because it leaves off on sort of it's a weak ending, I think. Actually, I think it's pretty weak, actually. Yeah. But it definitely makes it seem like there's going to be more, because I think it was fairly well received. I think a lot of people did like it. And I would personally like to see another season of it, to see where it goes. But I think it's a good show. It's in my top 5 for favorite shows from summer 2015. And like I said, it does stuff that it's not like other romantic comedy harem shows, but it is like other romantic comedy. Like, the storyline, I guess, is pretty similar, but it also isn't. I don't know how to describe. It's different in a lot of ways, but it's also not different. If you're just kind of looking for a nice kind of entertaining show that's going to have some funny moments and it isn't too serious, because this show definitely doesn't have too many serious moments. Maybe a handful. And I would say it's very PG, PG-13. Also, there's not a whole bunch of like sexualized moments like other shows. It's very like lighthearted and childish in a lot of ways, but it's still edgy enough. But if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a like an 8.25 out of 10. It's good. It's really good. But it does have some stuff it can improve on. But I'm looking forward to maybe another season. And the characters are entertaining. There's some really funny moments. And sometimes comedy can be a little bit hit and miss. But I found most of it to be on target. But yeah, so that'll wrap up this episode. Actually, it's a good show. I'd recommend watching it. And now I'll wrap up kind of summer 2015. So in case you didn't watch all the videos, my top 5, I'm just gonna name it off in this video because I don't think since I already did reviews of all these shows, there's no point in doing a top 5. But number 5, I don't even have a top 5. Number 5 is actually number 4. I think is My Love Story. Number 3, Shimonetta. I don't think it's how you say it. Number 2 is Charlotte. Number 1 is Raka. So there you go. Watch those shows. We're already a few weeks into the fall season, and I don't think any of these shows are going to be kind of like top tier shows, but a lot of them are going to be in like the 8 range so far from what I've watched. But yeah, it's been a solid season. There's a lot of shows that have a lot of potential. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next anime reviews and discussions. Thanks for watching.